Lockers at DuPont Manual are a subject not often discussed. They're prevalent in nearly every hallway, but when you look around, it seems like nobody uses them. When students are carrying large backpacks and wearing winter coats in the classroom, it begs the question, why don't students use the lockers that surround them? Today, I have resolved to find out. The process of obtaining a locker is relatively obscure. It has never been clearly advertised through student administrator channels, and I have found that students generally do not even know the procedure.
I have no clue about the process of getting a locker.
I don't know the process of getting a locker.
I have no idea how to get a locker.
Nobody knows the process of getting a locker.
And with that, I decided to find out the process and go through it myself. Here's what I found out about why no one seems to use a locker at Manual. I myself didn't know how to get a locker, so I asked my peers until I found somebody who had already gotten one. They told me I needed to go to the main office. Once there, I was directed to Miss Gerald's room. She's an interim assistant principal, filling in since Mr. Klingenfuss's retirement.
My name's Ruth Gerald. I am a retired JCPS administrator, and I'm just filling in this spot until you all get an assistant principal hired. So it's very puzzling to me as to why there aren't that many people using lockers. I don't know an exact number, but I would say it only looks like about 65 or 70 kids. I wonder why people don't use lockers. Maybe you have places other than a locker that you put your stuff, I don't know. So it's very puzzling to me.
Out of a student body of around 2,000, 70 students would mean only about 3% of the student population actually uses a locker. On the administrative side, some confusion or aversion to lockers may stem from the fact that the person in charge of assigning them is only working as an interim. For the purposes of this story, I've requested a locker of my own. However, the process isn't advertised, so I had to do some investigation before I even obtained the locker. But once I got it, well, I think the condition speaks for itself. Let me show you. As you can see, the locker I got is unclean and unused. It's caked in dust and even has a nail in the bottom. Clearly, no one has occupied this locker in a long time. The unused state of these lockers may prove a deterrent to students. When I asked students about lockers, many expressed to me that they could potentially find use in having one, but numerous factors prevent them from requesting a locker. The most prevalent stumbling block was that the current schedule setup restricts their possible interest.
We only have 5-minute breaks, and if your locker's on the first floor and your class is on the other side of the school, it's just not feasible.
If I did have more times, maybe like 10 minutes, I definitely probably would have a locker, yeah. I think it'd be convenient having a spot to hold my things, because I do leave my things in between classes sometimes.
More time between transitions, that'd be the main thing that would convince me to actually get a locker.
I also heard concerns about safety.
Honestly, I really don't trust lockers. I had one in freshman year because we all had to have one for VA to store our art box in. After COVID and over the renovation, my art box got stolen. So I just really don't trust lockers.
Many students told me that if they had to start regularly carrying more items to school with them, they would consider using a locker.
Maybe if I wanted to put a jacket inside it or something. Or if I had a textbook, maybe, but most people don't have textbooks.
If I needed to carry a second bag, that would make using a locker much more convenient.
I would appreciate a locker just for purposes like putting extra pencils or stuff that I might need for later.
However, a few had already ruled out using a locker under any circumstance.
There's nothing that would make me want to get a locker. I don't have a locker because I feel like they're unnecessary.
I'm kind of just used to not having one at this point.
22% of the students I interviewed reported that there was nothing that would bring them to use a locker. 78% of the students I interviewed were willing to use a locker if they had more time between classes or if other circumstances changed. While a schedule change is unfeasible, it goes to show how influential the schedule is on the number of locker requests. Now, what is the process of getting a locker? I'll let Miss Gerald explain.
You come down, and on that door there is a sheet. You just sign up that if you're interested in a locker, and if you have a specific place that you would like one, you can put that next to your name, and then I take your name off of there and I find the locker for you and send you a little slip with your information with the locker number and the combination.
After my investigations, I solved the question. Manual students don't use lockers because they either don't know how to get one or feel as if they are inconvenient under present circumstances. Some don't feel the need to have one anyways. Many students could benefit from having a locker, but the schedule does not offer enough time between classes to comfortably fit in a locker visit. Until an unlikely schedule change opens the floodgates for locker users, the school administration must be transparent about the process of getting lockers to assist those who could benefit from using them.